Tom Homan will be joining the Trump administration in charge of our nation's borders, the border czar. There's nobody better at policing and controlling our borders. Likewise, Tom Homan will be in charge of all deportation of illegal aliens back to their country of origin.
This is who Donald Trump just selected to be his border czar.
A child's going to die today. Over 300 people are going to die from fentanyl poisoning that's coming across the open border. When you take a vast majority of border patrol agents off patrol, off their national security duties, bad things happen. That's when the criminals come across. That's why did 1.9 million people didn't take advantage of the free giveaway? Why not turn yourselves in? Get processed, get transported to the city of your choice, get work authorization, get a hotel room, get 3 meals a day. Why did 1.9 million people say, no, I want to get away? Why? Because they didn't want to be vetted. They didn't want to be fingerprinted. That just scared the hell out of everybody. Yeah. I've done this for 34 years. I've never been more concerned about the safety and security of this country right now than I am right now because of 1.9 million gotaways. That scares the hell out of me.
Just listen to his qualification compared to Kamala Harris.
There's nobody better qualified than Tom Homan. He has decades of experience. He was a cop. He worked for ICE, and he ran that, and Border Patrol as well. And he was a special agent for INS as on top of it. But in addition to being the border czar, he's also going to be in charge of maritime and aviation security.
For me personally, the border is a big issue.
Because they know there's no wall to get over, there's no wait in Mexico, and they're going to get released to wherever they want to go. Is that
Absolutely.
right?
The first few days in office, President Biden signed over 90 executive orders abolishing all the policies that were proven effective based on numbers. Anybody can go to cbp.gov and look at the numbers. But I want to address one thing real quick.
Sure.
I'm sick and tired of people in Congress talking about xenophobic and racist policy of the Trump administration. We enforce the law. If I'm a racist, what's that make Congress? They wrote the law. We're not making this up. We're enforcing laws enacted by Congress. Second of all,
would you stop interrupting me while I am interrupting you?
About the family separation thing, because talking about tearing babies out of mother's arms. I'm the only one in this room who's been on that border. I'm the only one that's interviewed girls as young as 9 years old, been raped multiple times. You look in their eyes and they're dead. Their souls are gone. They have every ounce of what they think is humanity is gone because they were raped numerous times by criminal cartel members. I stood in back to a tractor trailer with 19 dead migrants at my feet, including a 5-year-old little boy. I've seen many dead bodies on the border. I've been down there numerous times this past year where border patrol are giving CPR to an infant child 6 months old. I've seen border patrol agents, heroes, patriots who jump in the river with 60 pounds of gear on, putting their lives on the line to save lives.
You know, listening to him describe what he's seen at the border it's sickening. If you have any kind of a moral compass or conscience, it should break your heart as well.
What the whole thing about zero tolerance was to save lives. Maybe if we prosecuted people, they stop bringing their children through that process.
Yes, Lord!
Maybe less people will die. Maybe less women will get sexually assaulted. That was the reason. It wasn't to tear babies out of mother's arms, to prove a point and not reunite them, to make it cruel. That wasn't the purpose of the law. And there was nobody that saw that we aren't going to reunite them. We're just going to call this a terrible policy. That's a false statement. That's a lie. I was there. I was involved. Don't say that we had no intention of reuniting these families. It's ridiculous.
You liar!
And as you just heard him describe all the stuff that's happening to innocent children, you know, like, why are these people bypassing this free option? You know, the almost 2 million people, the gotaways, so to speak, because they don't want to be found.
If this is intentional, if it's by design, why would they do it? What's the overall objective? And that's what I can't figure out is why would they do it?
You know, I ask myself that question every morning. President Biden voted for border barriers. He voted for the Secure Fence Act. Why did he stop building them then? You know, because this is political. There's no other reason. I'll ask anybody, what is the downside on less illegal immigration? What's the downside in having a secure border? What's the downside unless women get sexually assaulted? What's the downside unless children drowning in the river? What's the downside unless fentanyl coming to this country kill thousands of Americans? What's the downside unless sex trafficking of women and children? What's the downside on billions of dollars not being made by the cartels?
Now, I ask myself the same question. I do not understand it.
They obviously see some sort of political future, some political thing that's going to benefit them in the future. People say, well, maybe they're Democratic voters. Maybe not. But I know one thing, President Biden also overturned the Trump census rule, which millions of these people in sanctuary cities be counted in the next census. What does that mean? It means seats in the House.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I can't.
You think you think it's political? I mean, I know what
I don't know why.
I know
Would you stop interrupting me?
what Democrats have said. They've said we should abolish ICE. They've said we should abolish DHS. They've said that they're for non-citizens being able to vote. I mean, I don't know. That's just where the left is. But that to me is the fundamental question. That's a question I think Americans are asking. I get it all the time. Why would they allow this kind of situation to happen? Because the way I figure it, we're on pace to hit 12 million migrants coming in the country in the Biden administration.
Say what?
Well, bottom line is, while we're sitting here arguing this thing, while we're sitting here talking today in this beautiful room, women are being sexually assaulted making this journey.
It's kind of disheartening that the previous administration has allowed all this crazy and all this chaos. Hearing the stories of having to do CPR on little children. I don't know about you all, but for me, I love the little children. I can never understand how anybody can hurt a child or a baby. And like I've said in other videos, if you really knew the depth of the crap that's really going on to some children in this country, it would blow your mind. It would sicken you to your core. So I'm glad that this is a man that Donald Trump has chosen to lead our border, to be the border czar. I want my family safe. I want my country safe. I don't want people coming in here wanting to harm anybody in our country. This is our country, just like it's your family. I don't understand it. But anyway, I'm glad that this guy is going to be in office to turn this border situation completely around. I love you guys, and I will check you on the next one. Peace.